Hey boxing fans, welcome to another edition of Boxing for Real. I'm your host, Don Omega, and I want to talk about, this week we want to talk about Mosley Vargas 2, the rematch coming up. And let's get started. Mosley Vargas 2, the rematch, here it comes. It's coming up this week on pay-per-view. I don't think the fight should be on pay-per-view, but it is, so what can you do? We're going to have to order it, so, go ahead and order. It's worth it. Now, Mosley Vargas 2, my pick. I think Mosley's going to beat Vargas. I think he's just going to outbox him completely. Put on a boxing clinic. He can just stay on the outside, or he can use his hand speed and just overcome Vargas, beat him to the punch every single time. Not to take anything away from Vargas. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I just don't think he has the skill to beat the Sugar Shane Mosley. Even a slowed down Sugar Shane Mosley is better than Fernando Vargas. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a TKO again, but I do think Mosley will just take Vargas' decision. That's my pick, Mosley, unanimous decision. Okay, also on the undercard, it's going to be Juan Diaz fighting again. He's fighting another guy, Sucio or something like that, Randy Suco, I don't know, Randy Succo. But anyhow, it's a decent opponent probably, but it's just really another guy for Juan Diaz to look good against probably. Diaz needs to get some fights. I don't know what his promotional company is doing to him. He needs to go with, I'd love for him to get on with Golden Boy instead of, I think he was with Main Event and they're just not managing him correctly. This guy is undefeated. He's been looking impressive in all his matches, and he's only 22, 21, 22, somewhere in there, and he should be a much more well-known fighter than he is. And I hope to see him get some good fights soon, some people that people would actually care to see him against. His last fight, he fought Miguel Cotto's brother and beat him quite soundly. As I thought he would. He beat him quite soundly. Juan Diaz is one of the best lightweights in boxing right now. And I hope he gets a good fight soon. I really do. I don't want to see him fighting these guys that they've been putting him in against, like Vasem, like this guy coming out. Let's get him in there. Yoel Casamayo or Diego Corrales. Well, we know Corrales won't fight him. Corrales will duck him. He doesn't want any of this kid. This kid would beat him. Juan Diaz would knock out Diego Corrales. How about Kid Diamond? There's a perfect fight. Or I think he's going by Dr. Evil now. Whatever. Juan Diaz, he's a good kid. He'll win this fight. I'm going to pick him probably. I'm going to say he'll stop this guy 8th or 9th round. Also on the card, Daniel Ponce de Leon gets in there. I think he's a decent prospect, decent guy. Been coming up. He's good fighter. He'll probably win this, and hopefully he can step up again. He lost a fight there, and still bouncing back from that, I suppose. It's time to start thinking about stepping up his competition, putting him in there with some big names. Also this week in boxing, we're going to see Jason Litzau. This Friday night fight's coming up. He's been, I guess, an exciting fighter to some people. I don't really care for him. I don't think he's got that much talent. He's been winning, but against who, really? I think he's just another hometown fighter. And I think as soon as he steps up, I really pick him to lose. As soon as he steps up, he'll win this fight. He'll look impressive doing so, probably. But again, he's just another hometown guy right now, I think. I'm not saying step up right away, but because he is still a prospect and everything. And I never like seeing prospects being rushed, but whenever he does finally leave Ohio or wherever he is, some Midwest state, I'm pretty sure, I don't really see him doing a whole lot. So take that for what it's worth. Carlos Famoso Hernandez, he might get in one more big fight against someone like maybe a Diego Corrales or something. I'm sure Corrales would love to fight him because that's someone Corrales could beat. So don't be too surprised if Corrales ends up not fighting Freitas or Casamayo or Juan Diaz. Watch for him to try to fight someone like Carlos Hernandez. In overseas action this weekend, we have Felix Sturm fighting Javier Castillejo, and I'm sure Sturm will win this fight. It's in Germany, I'm pretty sure. And I don't really see him losing a fight over in Germany if it goes the distance. Castillejo would basically have to stop Sturm. I don't really see that happening. Sturm seemed like a fairly talented guy whenever he fought De La Hoya, which he basically beat De La Hoya. I mean, it was De La Hoya's worst performance, one of his worst performances. It wasn't the Hopkins fight where he got stopped, but it was one of De La Hoya's worst performances. De La Hoya looked completely out of shape in the fight, and Sturm took advantage, did well in the fight. And we haven't really seen him back here. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight someone like Winky Wright or Jermaine Taylor. I'd pick either one of them over him. I'd pick Edison Miranda over him. But he's a good, decent fighter that someone can beat, hopefully. Also this weekend, over in Japan, my boy Justin, Para Jamo, whatever, his friend, his gym mate, the guy that's supposed to be the next great hope of Japan, Kuroki, he's the strawweight, the minimum weight. He's going to be fighting just to tune up. He's going to knock this guy out. My pick this week for Kuroki will be KO1. KO1. Maybe two. Maybe two, but I don't see it going more than 1 or 2. And if it does, Kuroki needs to get back in that gym and stay at work. Because he should blow this guy right out of there. This is a tune-up. After this, he looks to fight maybe the JBC champion, maybe the OPBF champion, or maybe get a shot at one of these world champions. And good luck with that, Kuroki. Come over here and fight out Ivan Calderon. I'd love to see it. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in for another edition of Boxing for Real. I'm your host, Don Omega. The Iron Truth couldn't be here for these episodes. I guess he fell asleep or something, who knows. But remember, you can always email us at boxingforreal@gmail.com. And also check us out, omegafights.com. And that's going to be the show for this week. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.